Looking to advance in the state play-in round. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Scott Gross. The Yuma Catholic girls soccer team is currently ranked 12th in Class 3A. That's good enough to make the state playoffs, and they started last night with the AIA play-in round against the Warriors of ALA Ironwood to a chilly Ricky Gwynn Stadium for the start of the Class 3A girls soccer playoffs between the Warriors and Morgan Hodges and the Yuma Catholic Lady Shamrocks. There she is. Early second half, Shamrocks down 1-0. Freshman Janessa Lugo sends the ball deep into Warrior territory just ahead of senior Angelica Pimentel, who makes a nice move and finds the back of the net to tie the game at 1. Right there, the hometown fans, they like what they see. They like it a lot. Make some noise, fans. There we go. A little bit later, it's Pimentel weaving through traffic. She's going to find Janessa Lugo on the near sideline and watches Lugo's pass is going to be a little too strong for Jeanette Manzo, scooped up by the Warrior goalie. Midway through the second half, Pimentel showing off her ball control skills right here. Whoopsie-doo she goes. She sends a cross pass to the far side to junior Alina Avalar. An Avalar shot coming up is going to be just wide. Score still tied at 1. Soon after, Yuma Catholic on a free kick, which is chased down by Lugo, and Janessa's centering pass in the crosshairs of Avalar, who finds the back of the net. Shamrocks take a 2-1 lead. The game would go into overtime, tied at 2. Yuma Catholic wins via penalty kicks in the end, 3-1. Up next for Yuma Catholic, a road game against the 5-seed Scottsdale Christian on February 9th. Down the street for boys basketball at Raider Gym for senior night as Jeff Frazine and the Kofa Kings looking to avoid a series sweep against Dennis Ponder and the Cibola Raiders. Midway through the second quarter, Cibola's Carlos Navarro with the pass, top of the key to Anthony Alvarez, and the shot is just off, but Bennett Meyer-Wills there to clean it up underneath. Cibola up by 9, 26-17. Kofa looking to keep it close. They're down by 10. Alfredo Carbajal with the drive and finds Joaquin Anaya, who connects on the short jumper. Kings down by 8, 28-20. Then it's Jonah Ponder from the near wing and the 3. Cibola back up double digits. They never let Kofa get close. Cibola wins the regular season finale 64-47 and sweep the series against the Kings. To Calexico, where Juan Valenzuela and the 12-7 Central Spartans taking on Hugo Estrada and the 13-5 Calexico Bulldogs. Early first half, Spartans Jacob Vargas finds Skylar Cook, and Cook banks the shot from the near elbow. On the other end of the court, the Bulldogs will swing the ball all the way into the far corner to junior Cesar Castro, who makes a splash from three-point land. Next, Spartans looking to answer as Jacob Vargas dials, and he will connect from long distance. Central down 3 after 1 quarter, but Calexico would pull away in the second half using their defense en route to a 79-46 win. The Bulldogs are at Kofa tonight. Next to Imperial for a huge girls matchup between the Calexico Bulldogs and the Imperial Tigers. First quarter, Sierra Morris is going to draw first blood with his short-range jumper. Tigers' early momentum would continue. Morris would strike again, 5-0 at this point, Imperial. Then Zamara Cardona will get into the act and make the early lead 7-0 in favor of the Lady Tigers. They just keep on rolling. Bulldogs eventually respond. Paulina Montejano will get it over to Viviana Cuadras, who kicks it out to Cecilia Costa, who nails the medium-range jumper, but it would be the Tigers' night. Imperial takes the 53-28 win. Back to Yuma. The Lady Kings trying to put a damper on the upcoming playoff run of Anthony Gerg and the Lady Raiders of Cibola. First quarter, Daniela Lopez flings the ball to Chantel Montiel, who goes up for the layup, but her shot is blocked by Sierra Baumhauer. Kofa struggled to get anywhere near the rim for the entire game. Later in the quarter, Mina Johnson misses the 3, but Kira Hinton gets the board, then kicks it out to a wide-open Kaylee Holyfield, who drains her 3 ball. The Lady Raiders take a sizable early lead. A few plays later, Johnson sets the offensive play, gets it over to Baumhauer, who penetrates in the paint and scores herself a layup. Then, a little bit later, Mina Johnson again with a deep ball. Cibola would dominate, coming away with the 71-11 win at Rios Gym. Now to Yuma's north side, where Sean Jones and the Lady Criminals playing their season and home finale against Dysart. Late second quarter, Alyssa Franco gives up the rock to Tylee Jim, who works her way inside. She produces a bucket. The Lady Crims would trail by a single point at the half. They kept it close to the second half. Belinda Gradius is going to cross the ball over to Jim, who's going to show her range, stepping up and popping on the top of the key. That's a three-pointer. It shaves Yuma's deficit to 2 in the second half. A few plays later, Jim gets tied up and stripped of the ball, and the Demons take it the other way, coming through with the easy 2. Lady Crims would struggle on offense the rest of the way, taking the tough 51-31 loss. And that's all the time we have for sports.